Hi everyone, I'm a little bit on a film or video making, YouTube video making marathon, and the reason being is that if you remember from, I think I mentioned it in one of the latest videos, that we had fiber pulled, and that means that hopefully we'll have good speed internet because it's been up and down and we've been doing a lot of other things. We live in the countryside where things are incredibly slow, and it's just very difficult to get used to that after you've lived in London, and the internet speed was at a quite different level. So anyway, because of that, we will have overlap of networks, and I assume it might be a little bit inconvenient for a day or two. We might not have internet, and that's why I'm trying to pre-record videos so that they're still going up on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And even if I will be internetless, which at this day and age I can't even imagine for one day, so I can't even imagine for an hour, let alone a day. So I make sure I'll occupy myself with watercolor and books, art books and all of that, and just not concentrate on internet. I will let you know how the experience was once I go through that, but yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking to think about that. So anyhow, Today I want to talk about these. In fact, that's the latest one I have filmed, so if you like it, you should be able to find it on my channel if you haven't seen it. So she's quite different to my usual style. It's just something I am trying out. But today we're going to talk about the Derwent line painter, the graphic liners. Now, the first time I've ever seen this particular color, which is called Minted, is by Ali Brown when she's done her abstract face. It's got this beautiful kind of orangey colors, and then she used this little teal color for just a bit of a scratchy detail, and I absolutely loved it. So ever since I've been on a hunt for this color in particular, but I also wanted to try these liners just in general. And I mean, when it comes to opaque, so these are opaque colors, my favorites so far are these type of liners. So this is Uni-Posca. You get great color range, you get a huge, in fact insanely huge variety of nib thicknesses. You go from something like extreme thickness of like almost an inch thick marker I've seen, and then super fine as well. So that's great. Then also the other ones that I really like, let me just grab them quickly. The reason I'm holding these upright is because I want to show you something in a minute. So the other ones I really like for opacity is this one here, which I'd say Posca and the Jelly Rolls are the best from what I've tried. In terms of like also color range, they have great color ranges. So so this is a great one. This was a recent addition in the color. What's the color here? I'm actually not sure what the... So Moonlight is the like a collection, I think. The 10 is the width of the pen, so that's the broad. So you can see 05, 08 and 10. But the actual color... Oh, I remember. It's green. It's called green. So I think I found it on Amazon, so I'll try to link it below. It's called green, but it's a beautiful teal. I'll show it to you in a second. So this is that one here. It's a gorgeous kind of emeraldy type of kind of turquoisey color. So it's great. Okay, let's come back to these. So on the basis of having tried the previous two, the Posca and Jelly Roll, which I absolutely love, I thought these would be on the same kind of quality level. So as you can see, there are these lovely blobs here, and I didn't want to have them there. They just happened because the pans leak. My set is just terrible quality. I really like the colors, but they're not that great in terms of quality. So I've done some on black cardstock to show you. Let's look at the colors. So it is actually set somewhere here. Store horizontally. So they recommend to store these horizontally, because what happens is, and I will show you here, I have been storing them vertically for the reason that they leak quite badly. So as I was using them and I had them like horizontally on the desk, they started to leak actually. I could see a lot of pigment coming out. So I didn't want the paint to leak out completely. That's why I'm keeping mine upright. However, they recommend to keep it horizontally for exactly this purpose, because you actually get to see how little product there is. There is about this much product in the entire pan, which I think is just ridiculous if you ask me. I don't know whether that's the same situation here, but they feel a lot heavier and they feel a lot fuller. Like I can kind of feel like there is more pigment that goes in these other pans. And then obviously you can see this pan is transparent, so you can see how much product there is. So, I mean, you know, that's just really, really bad in my opinion. So, and then also once you want to use it, you'll have to give it a good shake and they will be ready to go. But I mean, it doesn't take too long to shake them up. So there is a metal ball inside there that helps the pigment to get going. So I don't really see a problem in keeping them upright. Besides the point, I really don't have a choice with the quality that they are. So I don't feel great about these. I mean, a couple of colors are really beautiful and I would recommend to buy them open stock, like just, you know, pick whatever colors you fancy and buy them that way. I quite fancy the number 14. It sort of looks like an olivey green, like a gold green type of a color. And to be honest with you, apart from minted, the rest of the colors I'm okay with. Like, I don't feel crazy about anything else. So yeah, I actually like the color combo that is in this particular set. I'll try to link it down below if you're still interested in this, but honestly, I would not. I mean, they're not that expensive, but it's just poor quality, you know. So I only had this leaking problem quite badly with the blue pan. I didn't have it as much with the others, but basically the pigment leaks out right underneath here, and you can see there's mess already in there, and you can just pull it out. It's very loosely fit in there, and I think this is the issue really. So I'll show you how easy it comes out. I was shaking this pan actually without the cap on, and this just flew out. So I don't know what's the malfunctioning design here, but basically this is how easy it is to pull out. I never ever in my entire art history have pulled out a nib out of any pan, and this just is so easy to do, and there is like no resistance there whatsoever. And like I said, even when I was shaking it, it just flew out by itself. So yeah, not sure what the deal is, whether this particular one is completely faulty, but I did see that they all start, that the pigment starts to gather around here when I have them like horizontally as they recommend. So I might do it. I don't want to do it with this pan because I pretty much bought it because of this color. But I might do the other, the rest of the colors. I'll keep them as they recommend, including this blue one. I'll keep them overnight horizontally, and I'll see what happens, whether they will leak through or not. So yeah, the other thing is that they haven't been available for a very long time on UK Amazon, and they just got available recently, and you can't buy them open stock, you know, the colors that you want here in UK. So if you can do it in your country, like I said, just probably you'd be better off, instead of buying a set, just buy whatever colors you need. So here are the color swatches. This is the yellow, the orange. Let me tell you the names of them. So the yellow is 01 and it's called Brick Road. The orange one is 03 and it's called Line Painter. The red one is 04 Herring. I don't know, their names are a bit weird as well. The next color in order was, I think, was it this one? Yeah, number 11 and it's called Paradise. And then 12 is Minted. So that's all I have to say. They come in this like a little pocket, which is not great. It feels like it's gonna break very quickly, but for now I'm keeping them in here, and I actually kept it to show you. The other thing is, to start them you have to do what you usually do, which is give them a good shake and then go on the nib up and down until you start seeing the pigment coming out. So stop as soon as you see it, because otherwise it will leak again. They're very leakable, these ones, and then they recommend to keep the cap closed, obviously, so it doesn't dry out very quickly. So that is it for today, and let me know whether you have them and how you get on. I'd love to know whether this is just an issue on my in my set, or whether they're just badly designed. I just realized I was going to show you something in the sketchbook, and then I completely forgot. So they are supposed to be very fine, so they're supposed to be 0.5. However, because the pigment flows very quickly, it kind of just, you know, makes the line fatter at times, and I found it quite inconsistent. So sometimes it'd be really nice and thin line, then the pigment starts to gather, depending how long you are sort of having this pen facing downwards, so the pigment just flows into that. The longer you have it facing down, the thicker the line becomes. So it's a little bit strange. It's not, you have to really work around this pen. It's too much hard work, I find. So I'm not too keen on it for that reason. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some examples. So I went back to a couple of illustrations here. So this was a bit of you know, like a body figure painting illustration that I've done, and I wasn't sort of keen on it, and I decided to add some more detail, and I do like the opacity of the paint, so I've used the did I actually say that this color 03 is called Tom? So that's the orange one. So yeah, I used the orange one and I used the minted color, and I mean, you can see they're lovely when you use them on white paper. When you use them on a bit of something in the background, they're not as opaque. So best thing is white paper, but if you want to use them as layers, they sort of not that great. Okay, next one is, so this is the example I think I showed you, yeah. So that was this one, so nice and opaque, and works quite well over watercolor as well. And then this is the one you saw. Then here I used it over watercolors and inks. That just doesn't work quite often though on this particular ink. A lot of gel pens will do the same thing, where you just lose the color and it starts blending with the ink. So that's to be expected, but on the white of the paper it does look lovely. I mean, I just love this color. I think, however, if this color was available in like a jelly roll or something, I'd be a bit happier because they're just better quality. And then I've done some here as well. Here, for example, I couldn't get the this one to work. It was just not giving me any color. It was very watery, even though I tried to shake it. So I'm not sure what was happening here and why the opacity wasn't happening. So in the end, it just looked terrible. So I had to cover it up with like a fountain pen ink. So yeah, it's a little bit all over the place. I could not really recommend this. I love this particular color for sure, but the quality of them, not that great, I'm afraid. So this is just to let you know, and that is it. Thanks for watching and see you soon.